Oh, hello there. Thank you for joining us for the news review. You're watching the AM show. Mapitu Sabidi giving us the AM news just a while ago. Thank you for joining us if you've just tuned in, and welcome to the review segment. Ben and I are going to look through the newspapers. I've got quite a number of them: the Daily Statesman, the Ghanaian Times, Daily Guide, the Business and Financial Times. Am I doing the dispatch?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So lots of papers. What do you have?
I have the Daily Graphic this morning, then the Finder newspaper, the Custodian, the Crystal Clear Lens, it's been a while, and then the Republic Press.
All right, let me start with the Ghanaian Times newspaper this Friday, November 2020. Friday, November 2020. Okay, on the front page of the paper, something that Director of Elections of the Electoral Commission said to us here on the show yesterday on special voting on December 1. We will have 109,557 persons vote nationwide. They include security personnel, journalists, and election officials. Education critical in achieving Ghana beyond aid. That's according to the Senior Minister, Yaosafo. Former President Rawlings was fair, firm, principled, says Dr. Siang Ejapong of the Jospon Group. ECG signs deal to install 200 charging systems for electric cars. If you go to page 3, where they usually have the crime stories, it says 2 die in hospital following shooting in Kumasi. This is the Yidriasi incident. There are some details in this that's pretty new. So the alleged suspect, right, is actually Ghanaian American. And the narration is a bit different in terms of what happened before he allegedly shot his victim 3 times in the stomach.
Before he himself, and whether he shot himself, whether he was shot at, the position of the gun, which raises questions about, because if you shoot yourself, the gun would either end up in your hands or somewhere close to you. Of course, that's in handling guns, there's something called recoil, and sometimes you shoot and then the gun gets flung out of your hands. But interesting dynamics, because the witnesses are telling one story, and it appears other people also saw something totally different. And the family is also saying something different. So
this is what I learned. I think later on, after the incident happened on social media, there was some denial that he was an armed robber. I didn't know where it was coming from, but if you look at the story in the Ghanaian Times, they tell you how the incident happened in front of a certain bank. And the people who didn't see it happen thought that it was an armed robbery. When it happened, and even when the police got to the scene. What I haven't been able to connect is whether or not he shot himself or the police shot him, because that's also another angle of the story.
Could this be a different incident?
So no, this is the same incident. It's the same AUDRS incident. So you can check out what the graphic is also reporting on this. And then they were apparently taken to different hospitals where they died. So the KNUST hospital and the Komfanoche Teaching Hospital. Also 4 in court for allegedly stealing power belonging to ECG. And this story is about somebody who has a way of giving you electricity, okay? So if, for instance, you want to buy 500 Ghana cedis electricity, he can tell you, I can give you the 500, all right, but you pay 300 Ghana cedis. And it's got this MasterCard, apparently, that he used to swipe, and then the credit will come on, and it's not paying directly to ECG. But thankfully, that group, they've been arrested, and there's more in the story. They've been doing this for a while, and I think the credits that so far they've managed to steal, allegedly, is some 40,000 Ghana cedis. Maybe not. I think it's actually how much they were charged when they were granted. So it says that they pleaded not guilty to the charges and were granted a total of 40,000 Ghana cedis with 2 sureties. But there's plenty details that you might want to check out. And if somebody is offering you a cheaper electricity, no matter how tempting it is, please say no, because, you know, you might not be caught right now, but eventually you will. And when you're caught, you pay back everything, plus the national disgrace that come with it. Kidnapping, killing of 4 tardy girls. Investigators did not incriminate accused, according to an eyewitness. In the center spread, essentially the stories on the front page, the headlines, but also this one. Government will continue to protect local industries, according to Trade and Industry Minister Alan Chiramating. Signing of Book of Condolence for former President Rawlings ends today. Today marks the last day of the opening of a Book of Condolence in honor of former President Flight Lieutenant Jerry Rawlings, who passed to eternity last week, Thursday. The Book of Condolence, which was opened a week ago, has had personalities, groups, institutions, diplomatic corps, high government officials, and presidential aspirants, among many others, express their condolence for the demise of the longest-serving leader in the country's history. So if you've been thinking of going to sign, it's the last day today. On the back page, 5,000 household sanitation facility for Ayawaso North municipality, and minister satisfied with work on Obechibi Pokwase interchanges. Okay, that's it for the Ghanaian Times.
Well, let's proceed from there with the Daily Graphic newspaper. It says, provide Amidu with 24-hour security. That's according to His Excellency the President. And that's on the back of some of what we've heard, seen in recent times. And according to that news desk report, the President, to be very brief, has directed the Inspector General, Mr. James Opombuenu, to immediately provide the former Special Prosecutor, Mr. Martin Amidu, with 24-hour police protection, owing to the alleged threats on his life. If you've listened to that audio, he talks about the fact that he even felt his car had been bugged and house as well, and many other things. So it's a pretty interesting development there. We just see how that pans out. Likely, if there's enough time, I'll delve into that story. But honor Rawlings with peaceful elections, House of Chiefs charges Ghanaians. It's 8 days already, would you believe it? Vice President pays for waakye service with QR code scanner. How do you pay for your waakye? We do the traditional. We go and buy. The most techie one we've done is to order and have a delivery, a dispatch, bring it to us. How high tech have you got with that?
Oh, I think recently I pay for services with mobile money. So you can actually do mobile money if you're buying fruits or whatever you can buy with waakye. And all that.
QR code.
And then, but the QR code, the restaurant, the hotels are actually using it.
They are.
I remember going to Kumasi, the Golden Tulip. I remember you could scan and check out what they have on their menu.
Yeah.
Instead of the traditional.
That I have done before, but actually,
so you're talking about the paying antimony with the QR code scanner. Okay, well, that I haven't done. The Vice President tested that.
But antimony, you owe us some waakye this morning since we've mentioned your But
that's the joints that the Vice President visited.
That's where he actually did it. Anyway, 10 more defunct companies gazetted. I thought I'd just take out a few more stories. Now, yesterday we marked World Toilet Day, and there's a story on the back page, but there's an editorial on page 7. Everyone deserves a decent place of convenience. That ties into the story on the back page that says WaterAid calls for more investment in sanitation services as world marks Toilet Day. On a day like this, I'm thinking about the Housing Minister, Honorable Atachia. I'm also thinking of the Sanitation and Water Resources Minister, Abena, Cecilia Abena Dapa. How far have
I remember, was it 3 years ago that I spent the toilet day in Jamestown at a public facility?
You did? Jamestown?
Yes, Jamestown, yes.
Jamestown.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It was very early morning, so I saw everything.
Yeah.
People coming in. And listen, don't take it for granted. There are people who would wake up this morning, carry their buckets and their clothing and go to a public place to use the toilet. After that, wash down, get dressed and go to work.
That's the reality.
It's not every person that, that's the reality. Not everybody has that in their homes.
But over the years, we've made promises. I mean, the Housing Minister, how many times? The last time he shouted Nima, and some felt it was derogatory and all of that, and we'll get toilet facilities. And even worse, the directive that, look, we're going to get landlords, landladies to do the right thing in these compound houses and the rest. What happened to that?
Well, the reality is that in some of the communities, you would have to totally demolish, kind of like rebuild the community if you have to make room for that.
Mamavi,
because of the nature.
Per the law, you shouldn't even have a facility like that without washrooms.
Yeah, but they do. They do. You know, when we're doing the Joy Clean Ghana campaign with the AMA, and Nancy would go around with the officials. I mean, it's the reality we're talking about, isn't it? Yeah.
Crazy.
You can say all the nice things and big dreams.
I guess it
people are not
feeds into
living
what
the
we
dream.
say. We have the finest laws in Ghana. Application, no.
Yeah.
Trump made no plans to host G7 summit. I'm just doing some international news as well. By the way, if you've been following, Joe Biden is approaching 80 million votes, which is like a record. The 75 million he had talked was a record already. He's approaching 80 million votes, but Donald Trump still says, hey, for the way. In fact, he's raising money for the legal, tussle. But it appears every court he goes to, I was saying it the other day, now he's gone to more courts and it's the same thing. We do law here.
Well, they are done recounting the Georgia votes and it's still a slim
I think 0.3
margin, victory
like
for Biden, which of course Mr. Trump still insists that this was the fraudulent votes that they essentially just recounted. So his position is still same.
Right. Done with the Daily Graph.
Let's do the Daily Dispatch front page. Rawlings' timeliness, 66 events that defined his life. COVID-19 has killed 250,000 in the U.S. A Joy News documentary on POS devices baseless. That's a response from the National Lotteries Authority. The paper has got the statement. Rawlings was principled, fair and firm, according to Dr. Siawe Ejapong of the Jospon Group. As he signed the book of condolence, he made those comments. Pretty much that's it for the Daily Dispatch by way of what's making headlines on the front page, at least.
Well, I'd like to dig briefly into the story in the Finder newspaper. It's on page 5. It says, file tax returns and enjoy 1,200 Ghana cedis in benefits. That's according to the Ghana Revenue Authority. And public sector workers have been advised to file for tax reliefs and enjoy the benefits which will mitigate their tax burden. One of the reliefs available to employees are 1,200 Ghana cedis for the married. In addition, public sector workers are entitled to 600 Ghana cedis per child schooling in Ghana, maximum of 3 children there. And then persons with disability get 25% and 1,000 cedis for aged dependents with a maximum of 2. Those who are 60 years or over can apply for a relief of 1,500 Ghana cedis. Interesting stuff. Maybe you should start paying your taxes if you're not already and benefit from some of these packages. Then education is critical in achieving Ghana Beyond Aid, or Safumafu saying that. Ecom Ghana CEO wins Cocoa Personality of the Year award. And that's it for the Finder newspaper.
All right, let's do the Daily Guide front page.
I think you can do 2 at a go since you have more papers this morning.
Okay. All right, so Daily Guide, Daily Statesman, real quick. QR code system starts. NPP target 35% for Nana. 5 seats in Volta. NLA denies Joy News Android film. That's how they decide to put it. Education pivotal for Ghana Beyond Aid. Go after them. Ofusampofu tape plays in court. Let's see if they've got some entertainment news. Okay, they do. This is in the center spread. I'm voting for Akufo-Addo again, says Kwesi Oting. Bobby Brown Jr. found dead. It's good to preach prosperity, but, well, you got to check out the details in the center spread of the paper. Let's do the Daily Statesman. NLA debunks multimedia corruption allegations. First in Africa, third in the world. Ghana rolls out universal QR code and education critical in Ghana Beyond Aid vision, says Osafo Mafo.
That Daily Guide story, though, about Bobby Brown Jr., is it the Bobby Brown?
Let's see.
Because you do know their child, the one with Whitney Houston.
It is the Bobby Brown.
Wow, what's happening to
the 28-year-old was found dead on Wednesday in his home in the LA area. This will be the second child, right?
Yes,
that's why.
Because the girl,
the one with Whitney. However, police officials who were at the scene of the incident said they do not believe there was any foul play that resulted in the death. Bobby Jr., who was one of Bobby's 7 children, also appeared on the family's short-lived Bravo reality show, Being Bobby Brown. His mother, Kim Ward, dated Bobby off and on for 11 years before he got engaged to Whitney. Okay, so that's a little background for you. So they also bring back what you mentioned. Bobby Jr.'s half-sister, Bobby Christina, died when she was just 22 years old after she was found lifeless in the bathtub of her Georgia home. So there you have it. I guess second child publicly who's died in some kind of mysterious circumstance. Bobby Brown's children. Okay, let's do the Business and Financial Times and then the Crystal Lens, I guess. So Business and Financial Times, economic recovery kickstarts with launch of 100 billion Ghana cedis curse. And curse is simply the COVID-19 alleviation and revitalization enterprises support. Also collaborate with Development Bank to hasten economic recovery. Bank of Ghana tells banks, and local farmer makers pursue COVID-19 vaccine deals, seek government support to accelerate process. It says that the Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Association Ghana has begun moves to pursue the acquisition of COVID-19 vaccines for onward distribution across the country. The association says there is need to make, and it continues on page 3. Here we go. Early moves as players in the sector are ready to collaborate on manufacturing the vaccines in the country to feed the sub-region and continent. So this is something that Fred Smith raised the day that he went to Odona, and I had to do the papers with him, was talking about how we should get our officials also talking about acquiring the vaccines. It's good that the Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Association are following up on this very important issue. The Crystal Clear Lens, last paper. It says bombshell. Amido accuses Akufo-Addo of sending killers after him. Well, I'm not sure this is how things played out. So why don't I just hold on to this paper? Please don't show it yet. Okay, that's it for me. Ben?
Okay, so I'm going to wrap up with these two. The custodian saying easy to declare 2020 election results after 24 hours. It appears we're trending this morning. I mean, we're doing some good work out there. NLA replies Joy News or Multimedia Group. And the other stories I believe we've seen. But how about this one? Not what you'd hear all the time on, and I'm just hiding it a bit from Mama V. So for those of you over 40, this one is for you. I don't count. 50 ways to have a healthy sex life after 40.
So why would you be hiding a thing like that from me? Like, I don't get it.
You don't qualify either. Anyway, so I'm looking at quite a number of things here. 50 for 40. And so, okay, I'm going to reserve this paper. I'm going to hold it.
Are you even 40?
That's why I'm saying I don't count.
But you're reserving the paper?
No, for
when you're 40,
people who are 40.
Like you're keeping it?
No, I know.
When you're 40, you go back and
I know a few people in production who are 40, and I just don't want to mention names. Republic Press. EC dismisses claims of missing security personnel on special voters list. We will win Kpong Katamansu's seat, GUM parliamentary candidate saying that, and then Amidu goes, quote unquote, mad, threatens to wash dirty linen in public. But Republic Press, you know, in Chi, lin, like we say bellet and milk. But how can you write dirty lin, like L-I-N? Where from that one? Anyway, Mama V, I'm done. The papers always let me do. I don't know why. It makes me look.
Don't worry, we're waiting for that segment of yours so we can learn.
Let's delve into this.
All right, is there some details that you wanted to share before we go to my journal?
It was about World Toilet Day. We've delved a bit into that matter, but WaterAid Ghana yesterday called on the government and the international community to establish measures actually to increase investments in sanitation services. The organization has called for a national sanitation authority and a dedicated fund for sanitation affairs to be set up to help address sanitation-related challenges confronting the country. And to help improve sanitation in the country, the acting country director of WaterAid Ghana, Ms. Antoinette Shaw Anyawo, said the electorate in Ghana must take issues of sanitation into consideration when voting in the December 7 election, so that whichever party that formed the next government would make room for sanitation-related projects in future budgets. But my simple thinking, with all the institutions we have, and with all, what else do we need really to get some traction when it comes to sanitation-related matters? Do you know, interestingly, during the period of the partial lockdown, the city was looking, I mean, some of us had to come to work, and we did, and the city was, lockdown finished, no, Charlie. And we were touting 80% clean. And
reality check.
Yeah, here we are. Anyway, so that's the story.
Well, but they say we're not exactly where we used to be, too, so we've made some kind of progress, if you like. Yes.
You know, there was a time I actually took some, well, not personally, but I had shots sent to me within the premises, I'm sorry to say, of the Jubilee House. Collections of filth like you would see in, it was terrible. And that is how bad it is. You can't blame His Excellency the President for that, but there are people in charge. So even within that state facility, we can't keep it neat.
It reminds me, so
the mindset of...
I spent some time at the beach. Okay, well, let me not say beach like sea, because the beaches are closed, right? And you will see the filth. I guess those who had businesses there, the joints, if you like, would usually clean the space right in front of them. But with businesses closed at the beach, oh my God, you should see it.
Ghana's beaches are deadly. You go to other countries and you look at how pristine their beaches are. You actually see our seas are not even, the water is, I think it's how clean you keep it.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you can just go to myjoyonline.com for a lot of stories. One of the stories is Mahama Yariga responding, because if you remember, and you've been listening closely to Mr. Martin Amidu's interaction with City FM's Omar Sanda, you know that there was a mention of Kennedy Japan talking about some medical records of Mr. Amidu and saying that he went to Germany, and it was attributed to Mr. Mahama Yariga. He's denying that flatly. You can check out details of that. He said he would never, ever, just like Mr. Martin Amidu said, if he ever did that, he would be ostracized in the community where they come from. So you can check out the story on myjoyonline.com. There's a fascinating...
Go, all right. I have some...
Okay, not related. Okay, sure. There's a fascinating story on the BBC Africa page. In Ghana, when girls get pregnant, we don't kick them out of school, but in Tanzania they do. There's actually a law that they passed. Well, groups, human rights groups have been trying to lobby the government, but they haven't been successful. So now they've taken them to court.
But that's
rather
radical.
They've taken them to the International Human Rights Court on this.
That's rather radical. It's not a crime to get pregnant. It's not the best thing, but anyway, lawyer Ace Ankuma, today happens to be your birthday. A very happy birthday to you. Right from here, the Multimedia Group, we wish you the very best. Yesterday was birthday of my brother. I failed to do this live on air. Anthony Akakpo, belated happy birthday to you. God bless you and give you that Midas touch. May everything you touch turn to gold.
Is it that you forgot your brother's birthday?
No, not
or you forgot? Because it's very easy to pretend that you didn't forget. Stay with that.
Oh, come on. You can't be doing this to me. Well, it's time now for sports.
No,